Let's get ourselves plugged in for the latest consumer news, scam alerts, and other things that are very necessary to continuing on someone reaching into your pocket. And for that information, we lean on our good friend Dennis Horton. He's the director of the Rockford Regional Office of the Better Business Bureau. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Riley.
Isn't this pleasant this morning?
You know, I even stepped outside. It was great to be outside and the sun. It feels like a spring morning.
Yeah, this kind of stuff hits us, in November, and we're losing our minds and all that. But now here in February, you look at that and go, oh, man, I'm thinking shirt sleeves would be fine today.
I bet you will see people walking around in shorts somewhere.
Yeah, of course. It's going to happen. Let's be careful out there. And that's what this segment's all about, you being careful. Some topics lined up this morning that are really intriguing, including the first one you have down here, the Netflix scam. What's that about?
Well, you see, we're, 2 weeks away from a year of being at home, just sort of stuck here and bored, and people have been turning to TV subscription services to fill that time, but those can be expensive.
Yep.
And there are so many of them now. Every time I turn on the TV, and especially for those of us who stream a lot, there's a new service that pops up, Peacock or a new Disney Plus.
There's Peacock. There's Paramount's got a new one. There's Hulu. There's Discover Plus. There's you name it. They're out there.
They're out there, and the scammers know that these are expensive. And it's you can try the free trial, but when you do those free trials, the first thing you have to remember to do is, if you don't want to continue, to cancel that service. But to get into your pockets, the scammers are now online offering Netflix for free. Check it out here. And what you have to do is to go online, as you would with any subscription service, provide that credit card number or debit card number so that you can continue. You can get the free trial, and then they'll be able to automatically renew you, except that it won't be Netflix that's doing that.
Oh.
Or it won't be any of the subscription services that you are signing up for. Now, I looked at the alert when it came in and said I should warn everyone. And I thought to myself, I will warn everybody to be careful if you are looking for a cheap way to do it. Just be very careful when you're clicking on and providing that information. It may not be Netflix. It may be one of the other plethora of services that are out there. But you want to make sure that you are actually providing your credit card information to the service that you are wishing to purchase.
Yeah, not some third party that's in it to just use the name, take your money, and then move on, and you keep wondering why the access code that you've gotten won't get you anything.
Exactly. So you want to make sure you check it out before you do anything, because it's just a thinly veiled attempt to steal your personal and financial information.
I see. When I saw Netflix scam, I thought, this is all right. Netflix is tired of you giving your password to your friends, former girlfriends, and other people to cash in on your account, and now they're going to come after you on it, which, at some point down the line, they may very well do that. But I didn't realize that people are out there dangling streaming services like that for free. Just give us some information, and here you go.
Yep, that's what it is. They're just trying to get your information. They're just trying to get your credit card information, your personal information, and they'll use it to the personal information to open other accounts in your name that you know nothing about, or just to, if you use your debit card, to empty your bank account. So you want to make sure that you're very careful if you are interested in making that purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. And your best bet to make those purchases of any of streaming service, go to them. Go directly to them, not from someone who says, hey, I'll get this lined up for you.
That's right. Exactly. You just don't, you can't trust what you see posted on social media anywhere.
No, and and people with money in their pockets know that because otherwise you're going to find a lot of it being drained out of there pretty quick. Now we're in tax season and the tax scams. I was over at the BBB's website the other day going through some of the different ways that the tax scammers come after you, and this is a target-rich season, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, and there are many things that we have to be cautious about during tax season. And tax identity theft is the number one, because what will end up happening with you with tax identity theft is that that refund that you are expecting, someone may beat you to it. And when you consider that the average tax refund check is about $2,500, that's a lot of money to lose. And tax ID thieves know this. In fact, there are 150 million returns that are filed every year. So this is like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for tax ID thieves. If they can beat you to your tax refund, you're out of luck, and you won't know that it's happened until you file your own return, and it is denied because it's a duplicate return. So we really have to be careful about or how you file your taxes and when you file your taxes. The sooner, the better.
And, that you make a great point on that one, that you don't know that anything has happened. You go on about your way. You either have your tax preparer put together your tax documents, or you do it yourself and you send them off. And then all of a sudden you've been flagged because, well, wait a minute, what are you doing turning in your taxes twice?
Right.
That has got to come as a shock to the system, because you're instantly thinking, well, wait a minute, somebody's already done this. Now, am I on the hook for this? Do I still need to file my return? And the answer to that is you still do need to file your return, right?
You still have to file, and you will probably, in the long run, be able to claim your refund, but it's going to be greatly delayed. And in many cases today, there are a lot of people out of work and who really need those tax refunds. And if you have yours ripped off from you before you can get to it, it really puts you into a greater financial bind. So file earlier than later.
Yeah, get on that one and be wary of the tax ID thieves and then there's the IRS imposters too, right?
That's true. These scammers who are pretending to be from the IRS, and because they know that it is tax season and that people it's top of mind for them, they tell you there's a problem with your refund. If you filed, you're really worried about that. If you haven't filed, they'll tell you you'll need help with this issue with your Social Security number, what have you. They'll use all of the IRS scam techniques that they have used throughout the year. But right now, people tend to fall for it more quickly, and what they do is talk you into letting them help you fix the problem. You pay me, and I'll get this all taken care of for you. So you give me your credit card information or your bank account information, and I will work on this for you. Don't you worry about it. I'm with the IRS.
And now you've just compounded your problems. You've doubled everything up now by doing that.
It's become a double problem for you, because that imposter may also file that for your return, and then they also have all of your information, and for years to come, you may not be able to get things done. Your credit history could be messed up for some time to come. There could be accounts opened in your name. It's just a snowball that just builds and builds and builds. So always, we've said for years and years now, protect your Social Security number. If somebody calls you and says that they're from the IRS, hang up. You don't need to ask questions. If it's the IRS, they're not going to contact you by phone and threaten you. If you have a problem with the IRS, they will contact you, but they'll do it by letter. And if you don't respond to the initial letter, they'll send you another letter. And when you start to get the certified letters, you'll know, yes, there is an issue that I must address.
Yeah, certified letter ought to get your attention, but as you point out, the IRS is not in the habit of picking up the phone and calling an individual taxpayer and letting them know they're in arrears, but we can fix this now with a gift card.
That's right. And there are other issues that people at tax season need to be aware of. Many people will hang a sign out saying that I am a tax preparer, but are they really? You need to make sure that you are dealing with a trustworthy tax preparer. With someone you're paying to do your taxes, you want to make sure that they have a IRS preparer tax identification number, so that you can be certain that they're registered with the IRS and can file your taxes for you, and not someone who's just hung a shingle out there saying, I can do your taxes for you, and I can do it cheaply. Yeah, they can do it cheaply, but let something go wrong, and you're going to find yourself in trouble, and they can do nothing about it because they're not registered with the IRS. And regardless of who prepares your taxes, you are ultimately responsible for it. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with a trustworthy tax preparer.
Yeah, get a trustworthy tax preparer, and always remember the IRS is not going to call you at home. They're certainly not going to text you. They're not going to drop you an email. You'll get a letter on this one, and as Dennis said, once it gets to what's the one you have to sign for?
Certified.
Certified. Yeah. Once you get to a certified letter, then you want to realize something's going on. And go ahead.
Pardon me. One other thing, these tax anticipation loans, again, when you find yourself in dire financial straits and you need your refund, you need it quickly, think twice before you sign on for a tax anticipation loan. They may tell you that, it is interest-free, but then there's going to be a fee for filing for it. There's going to be a fee to get the money. If it's on a debit card, the regular charge or the normal charge is around $30 to have it put on a debit card for you. Or if the loan people or the preparer who is offering you the loan is giving you a check, there's a $20 fee for the check, and these are all on top of your the fee that you will pay to have your taxes done. So, and if with all those fees piled on, and the loan that you get exceeds what your refund is, you're still on the hook for the entire amount of the loan. So, if there's another way for you to get out of financial straits, or if you have some bills that are coming due, talk to your creditor and explain that my refund is X number of dollars and I'm expecting it in the next few weeks. They'll probably work with you as opposed to your getting one of those advanced tax loans.
Yeah, there's a lot of minefields out there for anybody trying to negotiate their way through this.
Yeah, so you need to be careful.
And finally, 2020 fraud stats.
I look at the stats all the time, and I saw this number that consumers lost more than $3.3 billion to fraud in 2020.
Wow.
That was up from $1.8 billion, more than double the amount of money that was lost to fraud. I'm looking at, I read the information from the Federal Trade Commission nearly daily, and that number just jumped out at me because it's just astounding. And we were talking about identity theft. 1.4 million complaints were filed, nearly twice as many than in 2019. The numbers just... I keep saying, thank God that, Riley, that you make it provide time for me to come on and talk about these issues, because there are so many more people who obviously are losing money to these scams. It's an industry, and the scammers are at this point winning. we have to be the people who are the first line of defense in protecting ourselves. So we always need to think before we act. If you get a phone call or if it's an offer that seems too good to be true, I think, you hear that saying all the time, and you may think it's trite, but if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So people just need to always be on their P's and Q's, paying attention to what they're hearing, and think before they act.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned, I had popped over to your website last week to look over some of these numbers because your website features them prominently, and you click over on the scams and you'll be made aware of things that you had no idea these things were going on. But 165 million records containing personal data were exposed through data breaches in 2019. 3.2 million fraud cases reported to the FTC in 2019. Identity theft accounted for 20% of them, and it was the most common type of fraud. I learned about romance scams over on your site the other day, how that right now is the most profitable scam that's running.
We issue every year at Valentine's Day, we issue another warning. There are people who I have talked to who have called the office because they had met someone online who was their heartthrob, their soulmate, and didn't have the ability to come see you right now because, well, financially I can't afford it. But if you send me a few dollars, I can get that plane ticket and be there to see you in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Well, you send the money for the plane ticket and something else comes up. They need more money for this, or unfortunately, I'm not feeling well and I have to go to the hospital and I can't afford the doctor's bills. Could you help me out here? And it goes on and on and on with those romance scams. And I talked to an individual from Ogle County who lost $40,000 in a romance scam. And all you can do is feel sorry for them because getting that money back is nearly impossible.
Yeah, so be on your guard, especially when you're online, especially when it comes to anything with your personal information, and especially anything that deals with you sending some of your finances to someone else, especially if you've never met them. Good rule of thumb when you say, if you don't know the person, don't give money.
I think that's the perfect rule of thumb. And when someone asks you for money up front for anything, be leery.
Oh, yeah. And if the words gift card come into play, be super leery of it. Dennis, for people who want to explore more on what you have on the site as far as scams and all that goes, how do they do that?
You can go, if you want to look at our website, go to bbb.org, or you can give us a call at 815-963-2222, and we'll be glad to help you out as best we can.
Once again, a wealth of really, really valuable information. Dennis, thanks a lot for your time. We'll look forward to getting together again in a couple of weeks.
Riley, you have a great rest of the week.
You too. There's our friend Dennis Horton. He's director of the Rockford Regional Office of the Better Business Bureau.